graders, Mrs. Bailey's back with you. Now we're ready to do some example problems. I am pumped so we can use all that we just learned to help us do some math. So let's just jump right into it. We talked last time all about, and I gotta make sure I get all of them down, lines, line segments, points, right angles, acute angles, obtuse angles, and then also rays. And we're going to use all of that for when you do your homework worksheet thing. So first of all, you might have some that says choose the word to describe each picture. So for instance, you might have a little figure that looks like this, and it might ask you which of those things it is. Is it a ray, a line segment, a point? What is it? Well, then you're going to go back in your head and you're going to either rewatch the video or you can use the awesome motions that I taught you. And remember, what is that? If you just use like what you've already known before, you can probably see, and I'll highlight it there for you. You can probably see that it does appear that there is a line. But then it's like, is it a line segment or a line, Mrs. Bailey? I see both options. Well, remember the little thing I showed you. Does this figure right here, does it have arrows or does it have points? This one, remember, it has arrows. So it keeps on extending. It keeps on going. It does not have points at the end where it stops. So this one is going to be a good old line. Okay. So the first part of your worksheet is just going to be identifying each figure using what I just taught you in the other video. Another thing that it might ask you to do is you need to name each figure below using the point names and the appropriate symbols. And we have not talked about that all that much yet. So let's jump into that. I'm going to go ahead and put a new whiteboard on there. So for instance, you might have like a line segment here. I'm going to go ahead and draw one for you. You might have a little line segment here. And it might have those points labeled. So it might have like A and B. And it's labeling that line segment. Well, we can tell that it's a line segment because it has those points on it. But if we're going to talk about this line to anyone else that wants to know about what this line is, what this line's name to be called is, so that we can make sure we're talking about the same line segment, this is what we'd write. For a line segment, I noticed that from left to right, it has letters A. Oh, I don't want to cross it out. So sorry. Let me undo that 1 second. We're going to highlight it. We know it has A on the left side as 1 point, and then it has B. So what this line will be called is simply line segment AB. And to show that, all we do for a line segment is put the little line on top, okay? Let me do another example for you. So that's for a line segment. You also might have one that's a line. So remember, our line has arrows like this, and then there might be points on our line that look like that. So it's still a line because if you notice it has those arrows on the end, but then it just has some points on it to identify what the line's name is. Now this one we're going to do a little bit different. We're going to start from left to right like normal. If I look at it from left to right, it has letter G and letter H. Those are the letters that we're going to use to name our line. But then in order to clarify that it's a line and not a line segment, instead of just leaving it as a line with no arrows, we need to add arrows above it. So this would be line GH. It's important that we add those arrows because if we don't, then we're saying that that's a line segment, and it's not. It doesn't have 2 points on the end. It has arrows. So you cannot say, I'm going to show something that you should not do. So if you said this, that's incorrect. You cannot write that. Those are two different things. The GH, the line GH that has the arrows on it, would be the correct answer. Okay? And then let's talk about naming angles. So you might have an angle. And I'll show you an example. I love examples. That's why math is so fun. So I'm going to show you an example. And this one, I need to there we go. And we put a point here and a point here. just looking at it, I can tell that this is an acute angle. It is a cute little angle. It is smaller than 90 degrees. If I were to put a box on top of it, it would not make 90 degrees. So it's a small little angle. And then I need to name it. So on your example, it'll have some letters that are naming those points. So let's say it might have like A, B, C, something like that. And so then what you're going to do is to name this angle. The angle name sign is just you drawing an angle, just like that. It kind of looks like a little beak. So you're going to put it like that, and then you're just going to write the letters that you see. So I see A, B, C, and I'm going to keep them in that order with the B in the middle. Whatever letter is on the point that's in the middle. So like if you see right here, oop. So there's my highlighter. So it goes A, B, C. This point right here, that's the one that needs to be in the middle. So then when I name it, I'm just going to do it from left to right. It's going to be angle A, B, C. And that's your answer. Okay? And then the last thing I need to tell you how to label, new whiteboard, is a ray. Okay? So you might have a ray right here like this, and then it has 2 points on it. So it might be like C, D, something like that. Okay? We can tell it's a ray because it has 1 point on the end and then a line that continues on out. Okay? So we know it's a ray. And then what we're going to do is we're just going to look and see what are the letters that read from left to right. So I'm going to come, I have C and then D. So I know that it's going to be ray, C, D. So I'm going to write my C, D, and then on top of it, I'm going to draw what looks like a ray. Sorry, I got a little tongue twisted with my words. That happens sometimes though. So that looks like the name that we want. It is ray, C, D. You do not have to put a point on it. That's fine. You can just leave it as a line with 1 arrow on it. But that will show us a ray. Now, if you were to write this, that would be incorrect. You cannot write that. That's like saying that that is line segment CD. And that's not what we have. We have a ray. Same thing if we did this. If we did CD and then we put both arrows on both ends, that would also be incorrect because that's telling us we have line CD. Okay? I think that wraps it up for this video. I hope that you enjoyed and I hope it was beneficial for you as you work on your first activity in math for me. Have a super great day and be kind. Be kind to your family and hope to see you soon. Thanks so much for watching. Mrs. Bailey, out.